All right, you guys in the studio. I haven't seen this guy for a minute, but huge fan. Love the guy. Fabolous. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, Joe. You know, I had to come back and check you guys. It's that time of the year again. The album is here. Loso's Way is coming July 28th. So I had to come stop by and get in with you.
Before I even get to the album, dude, you congrats. Last time I saw you, you got a kid, you got a son now.
Yeah, I mean, I heard you got one. I heard you got a kid too now. So
Got a little daughter about a year old.
Ah, man, it's a blessing, man. It's a beautiful thing. Are you enjoying being a dad? Is it everything you thought it would be?
It is what I thought it would be. It's a lot of work, though. I mean, I worry about things that I didn't think I would worry about,
Right.
and vice versa. Like, for example, sleep. You know,
Yeah.
that's pretty much the main thing. You know. What about you?
I mean, my boy, for some reason, I was blessed that he actually sleeps through the night. He's always been doing that ever since, like, he was maybe 2 months old.
Right.
And he's been sleeping through the night, and that helps me get some sleep. And even now that he's 1.5, he sleeps, like, late into the afternoon. He sleeps, like, till, like, 11:30, 12 o'clock every day. I was like, I mean, well, he goes to sleep a little late. He goes to sleep maybe at, like, 11.
So he's got your schedule, basically.
Yeah.
Not maybe not exactly your schedule.
But I get to, like, he goes to sleep, then I get to get a little internet time or something on, or watch a movie or something, and then go to sleep, and then he still sleep, and then when I get up, I'm already kind of up sometime before he gets up, so that's always good. If I need to do anything in the morning, I get that before, you know what I mean?
Like walking, talk. I know he's walking by
He's
now.
walking now.
But probably
He's
talking.
saying some little stuff too. I'm starting to see a lot of more personality from him as well, like. You know, like, and he's mad. He's like, he does that now. I'm like, where'd you get that from? You know what I mean? Like, he hits stuff. Like, he's like, like, you know what I'm saying? Hit a table. I'm like, where'd you pick that up from? You know what I mean? But I'm starting to see a lot of things. It's a beautiful thing watching a child grow and come into themselves as well.
Now, do you see little bits of you in him yet? Like that, you know, like mannerisms, or I don't know. Do you see? Can you see you in him?
Yeah, I definitely see it, like some of his features, of course, but like I see some of the things he does, his personality. Like it's a little like if he doesn't really know you too well, he like got to check you out a little bit first, and that's definitely the way I am. Like, you know what I mean? As far as like with people I don't know, like I gotta warm up to you, and that's exactly how he is.
All right. Now, when you went, let me step back a couple of months, a year and a half ago to be specific. You know, the delivery room. To me, I mean, it's like I said a moment ago, it's like a horror movie with a happy ending. Everybody says childbirth is beautiful, not the whole thing. It scared the hell out of me, dude. And I'm not even the one giving birth. What was your reaction to that?
It's a weird event of like emotions and like things you're seeing that you've never seen before, and screams and shouts and you just standing there like you're trying to be supportive, but you might need support for yourself at the same time. Like it's an experience, man. It's definitely an experience.
I'll give you one memory from the whole situation, the whole birth, you know, the whole delivery room process that stands in my head. Then give me one of yours if you can. But little Sophie was born, my little girl, and they brought her out, and the nurses were like, "Oh my God, the baby looks pale. She looks pale," you know.
Okay.
So they bring her over to the little lamp thing or whatever you call it. Then they look at me and like, "Oh, look at the dad." I'm like, "Oh yeah." So she's cool. So I was like, "All right, thank God I'm pale. All right, fine." What anything stands out in your mind, like just a moment that you'll never forget, aside from the whole overall thing, but one particular?
One thing was definitely holding it and seeing like how small and how gentle it is. You know what I'm saying? It's like
right.
It's almost like you're scared a little bit because you feel like, dang, am I gonna break them or something? Like it's just so it's so small and delicate and gentle, man. I remember just holding him in my arms and thinking that, like, wow, you know what I'm saying? And it's definitely a something that you never experienced before ever. Like, you know what I mean? The feeling of just seeing that whole process, because it's a long process of her actually being pregnant and carrying, and you go through that whole situation, and now to it's like a release, and now it's kind of over. The pregnancy stage is over, and it begins another stage that you have to prepare yourself for.
Well, one of these days, you know, I'll learn how to smoke a cigar, and we're gonna have a cigar. And congrats back and forth, all that.
I see it in our year and a half of not seeing each other. We kept ourselves busy doing other things.
I guess so. You know, gotta do something. And I guess now, let me switch gears. You're giving birth to another album, dude,
Yes.
and a lot of people talking about this thing. And for people who don't know, and of course the album called Loso's Way. There's a movie attached to it.
Right.
What do people need to know? Give me the whole rundown.
Oh man, we shot the movie just so you can get a little visual of what was going on with the music as well. You know, with this album, I wanted to give a little bit more personality, a little bit more of my character. a little bit of more of me, you know what I'm saying? And I thought even visually you could see that in the movie as well. See some of my acting, see some of my drama, my comedic side, my, you know what I mean, different aspects about me. And I think that's what the movie comes across showing. And then also it just plays as like a play to the music, you know what I mean? And the music ends up becoming like a soundtrack to the movie. So they both run hand in hand and work well with each other.
Now we're talking, this is not like this is not a video from the
No.
album. This is an actual movie based upon the album, and the album is sort of based upon the movie. So
Right.
I guess everything is about you, basically, right?
Right.
And this is
definitely a story of me. I took like kind of the story is situations and trials and tribulations and good parts and bad parts of my whole career, but we took it and stretched it and pushed it together and made it into this artist Loso who's just getting on, like, you know what I'm saying, but he's going through these trials and tribulations all within his year of blowing up, you know what I'm saying? So we made you be able to see what an artist has to go through in his time of becoming a bigger star. You know what I'm saying? It's not just 1, 2, 3, and then you hearing him on the radio and he's popping champagne and the girls are on him. It's a lot of things that go on that a lot of people don't get to see. So even with me, like some of the things that happened with me never were exposed like to the public. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people didn't know I got shot. You know what I'm saying? I had got shot in like 2006, I believe. And, you know, at the time, I couldn't talk too much about it on the album because it was a case stemming running along with it. So I had to wait till the case was over. And by the time the case was over, I wasn't, the album had already passed. And I didn't really want to beat a dead horse and keep talking about something that happened like 6 to 8 months ago. So,
Right.
you know what I mean? This one, I was able to show it visually in the movie and show you a little bit of what happened with that whole situation.
Yeah, people have always made comments about the fact that Fabolous keeps a lot of his, your personal life personal.
Mm-hmm.
And with a lot of artists, that's not the case. They
Right.
they kind of over dramatize what they do, and a lot of times it's not really happening. You
Yeah.
know. So I guess is this sort of like a breakout album for you in the sense that maybe you've had this stuff bottled up,
Definitely.
the shooting among other things, and now it has to come out.
Definitely. A lot of these things I've talked about on this album. I talked about becoming a father for the first time, and actually my relationship with my father, and that feeling, even knowing now how I feel as being a father, how was our relationship between me and my father was different. I also talk about, the changing of friendships and relationships, you know what I'm saying? You may come into the game, you may have came into the radio game, and some of the same friends that you had when you first came in are not there when they're now, you know what I'm saying? And you talk about that and talk about how that's a part of growing up as well, you know what I'm saying? I
Right.
talk about even a little bit of my career, you know what I'm saying? I feel like some points I'm like underrated and people like, everybody hasn't gotten me yet, so I talk about that in a situation and how I've had longevity and been able to stay in the game and stay afloat with not some of the other things that everybody has had to just keep them afloat, you know what I'm saying? So
Right.
I touch on a lot of different things and give a little bit more personality on the album, give it a little bit more character, you know what I mean, touch on real subjects, but still make it good music at the same time.
All right, what track we going into? What track you want to play?
I mean, we could start it off with that lead single, you know what I mean, that Throw It in the Bag, you know what I mean, featuring the homie Dream, you know what I mean. This was a joint that was a little away from the theme that I actually had for the album because I themed it after Carlito's Way, and because I felt like our story was a little parallel as far as like what we were trying to do, and this record was a little different in theme, but it was so hot that I had to put it on there. Like I played it in the studio, and everybody who came in the studio, they were like just unconsciously like just bopping to it, not even knowing it. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, oh, that's one of those beats that even if you're not even paying attention, you find yourself bopping to it, and that's the way it found its way on the album.
All right, you guys, here we go. Let's roll the track. Fabolous in the studio.